Okay, welcome to the How to Scale Your Business at Every Stage of Growth workshop. I'm Rashida, and I help businesses scale to multi-six-figure profits. Let's get right into it, okay? So today we will cover the 3 stages of scaling to multi-six-figure profits, how you can determine what stage you are currently in, exact action steps you need to complete to get to the next stage, and resources and tools to make implementing what you learned even faster and easier. I'm so excited about this. So these are a high level view of the 3 stages of scaling. Stage 1 is optimization. Stage 2 is elevation. And stage 3 is CEO Ascension. So starting with stage 1, if you're here, you have had some success, right? You are starting to see the emergence of multi-six figures, at least in revenue. We might not be there in profit yet, but at least you're starting to see it in revenue, okay? And the optimization stage is all about creating a crystal clear vision about your business and your personal life. So before this, you could have been trying different things, figuring out your ideal client, seeing what works. You're really, shaping your business and you're really getting the momentum. So now it's time to actually define your business, to define your vision. You want to ensure alignment between your business and your personal goals. I always say your business is nothing but a tool to get you to your dream life. So if your business is not equaling your dream life, then it's not working. So you need to make sure that you have a business, that you're growing a business that directly ties and gets you to your personal goals, whether that's your take-home pay, how much freedom, how much time you want off, much you want to grow your personal net worth. All of those things and much more needs to be in alignment with your business, and your business needs to ensure that you're getting to those things. Okay. That's a very important point that I think a lot of people miss. And it's also about building and improving the foundational systems that support sustainable growth. I know you hear it a lot. Systems matter. Okay. Systems are not sexy. I don't care how anybody try to tell you. I mean, like if you're into systems like me, then yeah, it's exciting. But for the average person, it's not sexy. Okay. I mean, I'm a CPA. I like accounting. I get excited about the numbers, but to the average person going through the nitty gritty of, profit margins and acquisition costs, it's not cute, but you still need them because you cannot scale without systems. And the thing is, you can grow. And I think people get growth and scaling confused because your business can grow. You can increase your revenue. You can increase, even your profits without systems. And a lot of times, if you're at this stage, you have gotten to this success without necessarily having all these systems in place because you have been growing. Scaling is different. Scaling is when you start to build that empire, however it looks. You might not want like a 10, 50, $1 million empire. You might want something on a smaller scale, but you still need those same systems to actually have it and to actually be able to sustain it so your business does not go out of business. A lot of people don't know. A lot of businesses actually go under during times of growth because you can get a whole lot of sales coming in, but if you don't have the system to support that, your business will go under. Systems is the vehicle that help you scale to have sustainable growth, to have a sustainable business that can actually handle the growth. Okay. So this stage is all about where you lay a strong foundation for a streamlined, scalable business that operates with intention, alignment, and giving you the clarity and confidence to move forward strategically. When you have systems in place, when you know that your back end is looking good, that your customer onboarding is hidden, that you have the automations just flowing, you just confident. Okay. It's just a different energy. It actually removes stress and overwhelm. Okay. So here are some characteristics of the optimization stage. The purpose is you want to gain clarity on the type of business you want to build and the type of CEO you want to become while creating the foundational systems to support that vision. That's why the vision is so important. When you have a vision, a lot of decisions, a lot of systems, a lot of what should I do next become easier because everything you do should directly trace back to that vision. It should be in alignment with that vision. When people say in alignment, right, like align strategies, align business, is meaning that it directly traces back to your vision, to your goal. It helps you get there in some way. So some mental obstacles or some things you might be going through is hesitation to narrow down client focus, refine offers, or increase prices from fear of losing opportunities. One thing I want to say, and you might hear me say it a lot, what got you to this stage is not going to get you to the next stage. So you have to be able to break out of that comfort zone and that fear to go to the next level, right? The same boldness you had to get to the optimization stage, now you got to get uncomfortable again, and you got to have that same boldness to get to the next stage, okay? So this is where clarity and vision comes in. You may be feeling overwhelmed and paralyzed by the need to systemize in multiple areas. At this point, you know systems matter. You know they're important. You don't have to be sold on the importance of systems, but implementing them are hard. What systems to focus on are hard. All of these things, a lot to consider. Plus, you're still very much involved in running your business. So it's overwhelmed and it's paralyzed. And one person says you should do this, and one person says you should do that. And it's just all over the place, okay? So I'm going to help narrow down some of them systems you should start with if you're in this stage. You also might be waiting for everything to feel perfect before taking the next step. It's different when you're first starting out and you're almost like, I have nothing to lose, or you're on, you have no revenue, so you're going all in. But once you have that revenue, once you have clients, once you have expectations, that weight can be even heavier than when you had none. So you feel even more pressure to show up perfect before you take the next step. And you really want to take massive, messy action as often as possible. I heard that at first from Liz Simpson, and I love it. It has been the foundation that's changed so many things for me because I was a perfectionist. I used to say it might not be perfect, but it got to be as close to perfect as possible. And honestly, I still believe that. But I also understand messy and perfect action is way better than no action because perfection doesn't exist. So I really am pushing myself, and I have pushed myself out of my comfort zone in order to take these necessary actions to get to the next stage. And the fear of delegation or worrying that no one else can execute as well as you. And this is very big, especially when you have a business that's more like a personal brand. You're the one delivering the services. You're the one plastered all over social media. You're the one that will take the heat if something happens. So this does start to cause some issues, but you have to start shifting your mindset. So creating the systems will help to ease some of that. So a mindset mantra for this stage: the foundation you build today determines the heights you'll reach tomorrow. Align your vision, refine your systems, and lead with intention. Okay. So the goals at this stage is to create clarity in your vision and process and implement foundational systems to free up time and energy for growth. Let's go over some action steps. Action steps are designed to help you break free from the overwhelm and indecision that keeps you stuck. It empowers you to take focused, meaningful actions towards your goals. Again, align. Every action you take should help get you closer to your vision. They're designed to be simple yet impactful steps that you can realistically implement to create momentum needed to grow your business with confidence, purpose, and alignment. The first thing you want to do is you want to get crystal clear on your vision. You want to refine your vision for your business. So dedicate 30 minutes each week to clarifying the type of business you want to build. Think about your ideal clients, your offers, the time you want to commit, the role you want to play as a CEO. And you want to continue this reflection until you have a clear, confident vision and ideal for your business that you can communicate clearly to others as well. Because part of your job as you scale, as you grow, as you become that amazing CEO is to communicate your vision so vividly to your team that they get it too, and they can actually act in alignment with your business. The next thing you want to do is you want to create SOPs. So SOPs are standardized operating procedures. And you want to basically write down and document all of your tasks and systems. And I recommend spending at least 30 minutes each week, but if you can do more, that'd be great. And if you can delegate this for somebody else to do, that would be even better. So there are a lot of systems that you can start with and that you need in your business. But these are the CEO smart systems that I recommend. Client acquisitions. This is things like lead generation, sales, marketing, things of that nature. Client experience, onboarding, offboarding, and delivery, right? So everything that has to do with the client. And capital management. This is profitability, your cash flow, your finances, and all of that. After you have documented your systems, you want to upgrade your systems. So you want to dedicate 45 to 60 minutes each week auditing, improving, automating, and updating your systems. And I will go more into how you actually audit your systems, okay? So these are the steps. So if we look in total, we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a week that you're dedicating to this. And I know that you're busy, okay? But what happens as you start to have these SOPs, as you start to upgrade your systems, you will actually have more time in your day. And if you can delegate any part of this, right, then do that. If you can outsource this, do that. It's time to start thinking like a CEO. Remember I said what it took you to get to this stage will not be the same thing to get you to the next stage. I know that you're used to doing a lot of things yourself. It's time to be okay with letting go and to be confident that you have these skills to actually find the right people to help you. Okay, let's break each step down a little bit more. I want to get crystal clear on your vision. To help you get crystal clear, here's some questions you can ask yourself. And I'm not going to read each one out loud, but you can take a screenshot of this if you would like. And resources that you can use are these vision prompts. Okay. So creating the SOPs, a lot of people don't like this. When they hear creating SOPs, they feel a certain way because it can take time, right? So I'm going to do a whole nother webinar that goes really deep into creating SOPs. But for now, here's a simple process. Record a tutorial of you doing the task and talking out loud. So go through the process of actually explaining what you do step by step. Pretend like you're recording a tutorial for YouTube. Use a screen recording software if what you're doing is online and require a computer so you can go through it. If it's not online, just talk out loud step by step as you complete the task. Like again, pretend like you're recording an audio tutorial that somebody's going to listen to. Use transcription software to subscribe your tutorial and then create the official SOP from the video and the transcript. And the final thing is to audit your current systems. So now that you have gone through the process of documenting your systems and your processes and creating SOPs, now you want to go through and audit it. You want to analyze for gaps, evaluate the processes for inefficiencies, bottlenecks, redundancies, missing components, or steps that simply don't add value. And a good thing to do if you have employees or people who you outsource to or contractors is to get input directly from these people of things that they're seeing as a problem. And so some examples of some things that you might find when you're auditing. Client invoices are delayed due to too many manual approvals. Scheduling consultations take too long because there's a lot of back and forth emails. Onboarding information is collected in multiple steps, is unnecessary, is clunky, and nothing really goes together, so it causes confusions. There's tasks that you are doing that someone else should be doing because they're more junior level and they're not CEO level tasks. And, there's a lot of duplication of work because systems are not working together. So those are just some examples. There are many, but I just want to give you an idea of certain things that you can find when you're looking and analyzing for gaps. And you want to prioritize these issues and rank them. So rank the identified gaps based on their impact on your goals, your costs, the time for actually improving them, and all of that, right? So you want to look at everything, and not just the cost of what it costs to implement, but also what it's costing you to not implement. You know, if your clients are having a bad onboarding experience, that is not only costing you client, right? It's decreasing your client retentions because now the clients, they don't like it, so they're not going to renew or they're not going to continue your services. But also new clients because they're going to talk to people. So that can be costing you a lot. So you want to make sure that you prioritize. And then you want to improve your systems. So you want to simplify, automate, streamline, or add systems to address identified issues. And that could also mean you might want to delete some systems. And you want to ensure the updated process aligns with your objectives and is easy to follow. Again, it all comes back to alignment. After you have updated your systems you want to implement, you want to test and optimize. So you want to start small and input the revised process on a small scale, get feedback, and refine as needed before fully implementing across the board. So if you're changing your client onboarding, start with one client, work out the kinks. When everything is worked out, go full force. Now, I do have a system audit tracker. That's a tool and resource you can use, and we're going to go over it really quick so you can see how that works. So I'm going to switch screens. Okay, so this is the tool you can use to do your system audit. So let's go through it really quick. Of course, you start with the date and the owner who's performing the audit. And then here we have the system type. It's from the drop down. It's the 3 that I referenced inside the workshop. So these are the ones you can pick from. I recommend having one tab for each system type. So we have this here. This can all be client acquisition. I have a copy of this already over here. You can make this one client experience, and then you can just copy this before you start writing on it if you need to duplicate it, and then make that one client management. It's totally up to you. Some people like to have it all on one sheet, but I think it's more organized to have them on separate sheets if you want to go that route. So then what you would do is you would name the specific system inside of client acquisition. So actually this one would be client experience. So client experience will be onboarding, and then manually send welcome email. So that's just the actual step inside of the system of onboarding, okay? So then you look at bottlenecks, inefficiencies, redundancies, missing components, and non-value add. So these are all the gaps you're looking for. So if you read here, under these, I actually tell you what they each are, the definition. So bottlenecks are steps where work gets delayed or stuck, causing slowdowns in the overall process. So sending a manual email could be considered a bottleneck because you're delaying actual onboarding and things are stuck until somebody can actually get there and send it. So that is how you would go through each of these. Now, it is likely you would delete this or write over it. So if you hover over these triangles here, these very same definitions are here, so you can always access them. And after you go through all that, you would decide what's the priority. So priority is based on time frame. This is something that immediately needs to be fixed, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, a year, long term. When deciding the priority, remember to rank based on the impact of the goals, the cost, the time, and all of those things I spoke about in the workshop. And then you want to decide, can you delegate this? Yes, partially no. Are you able to automate it so you can know and use this to create your plan? So that is a quick walkthrough of how you use the system audit. Okay, we are back to the PowerPoint presentation and we are on to stage 2, which is elevation. And the elevation stage is all about building momentum and scaling the systems, the offers, the client experiences that you have established in the optimization stage. So this is where things are coming together. So this phase focuses on amplifying revenue, maximizing profit, enhancing the customer experience, expanding your audience, and fine-tuning the operations. Because we have the foundation, so now we can found to it. It's the details, right? The devil's in the details, and that's really what is going to make you stand out. So finding those small details in the systems that just make it flow like butter that people didn't even realize they wanted or needed until they found you is what's going to help you grow sustainably and continue to stand out. So in this stage, you are multiplying the impact of your work, increasing your reach and profitability while ensuring your business continues to reflect your vision and serve your ideal clients effectively. Some characteristics. The purpose is to drive sustainable growth that expands your impact, profitability, while maintaining alignment with your vision and values. Some mental obstacles or things you might be going through. Worrying that scaling your business will force you to change who you are or leave behind the people and structure that supported your success so far. This is a big one that I don't think about, talk about. This is a big one that I don't think a lot of people talk about. The fear of not being you. I feel like sometimes we feel like we have to be this other person to be successful, right? To embody what success looks like. And I felt this. I felt this pressure to show up like I have it all together, like not wanting to come on camera without makeup. All the it people or the successful people all have this aesthetic. And yes, branding is important, but your brand should be authentic to you. So therefore you connect with your authentic clients. I want a business that creates the life I want to live, not the other way around. I don't want to change who I am for this business. And the beautiful thing about online and social media is you can find your people. You can find your tribe. You just have to be brave enough to show up as yourself first. Okay. So another thing is worrying that growth will lead to burnout or loss of control, which is a very, very, very valid worry because it often does. And so therefore, that's why those systems need to be in place and that alignment needs to be in place. Everything has to go back to your vision. You see how it's all coming full circle? Doubt in your ability to maintain quality as your business grows, feeling uncertain about where to focus efforts for sustainable scaling. That's a big one. There are so many things online, so many things you should do. Email is dead. Social media is where to go. TikTok might get banned. Like there's so many things happening. LinkedIn updated their algorithm. So many things and so many people telling you opposing things. So learning what you need to focus on to scale and really being confident in that is a struggle. And one thing I like to say is always have one single source of truth. And that's one thing I had to do. Listen, I'm a course, a mastermind, a mentor, coach junkie. I'm a fiend for it. I love it. I love that next hit. I get excited. And I believe in it. So don't get me wrong. I believe in it, but it can also be overdone. And, I had to learn, I am going to focus. This is who I'm following, right? This is my single source of truth. I am in this program. I am sticking to this program. I am listening to this person because this person aligns with my vision and goals because I have become clear on them. So if anything else comes in direct conflict with what that person is saying, then I just can't listen because I have one single source of truth. It doesn't mean that I don't listen to other information that I don't gather. I love to learn, but it has to be a focal point, a foundation that I always return to, or legit, you're like, what they call it, a dog chasing its tail. You just run around in a circle, and that had to stop. So, this is a very big struggle, and overthinking every detail instead of taking decisive action. That goes back to taking massive, messy action. Okay. Growth is not about doing more. It's about doing the right things better, building momentum while staying aligned with your vision. That is the mantra or mantra for this stage. And your goals. We want to start actually scaling, right? So you want to scale your most aligned offers to grow revenue and profitable. Okay. You want to scale your most aligned offers to grow revenue and profit sustainably and strategically. And you want to elevate your systems to improve operational effectiveness in the client's experience. And so I want to say these goals are, again, all set up to get you to the next level. We're trying to get you out of your business. Scaling means you have to have a business that can operate on some level without you. I know that's a scary feeling. I know it's a scary, scary feeling, but that's really what you want to get to. That's how you actually start to increase your take-home pay. That's how you actually start to increase your personal network. That's how you actually increase profitability because you're working on more high level things. Okay. Okay. So action steps for this stage. You want to dig deeper into profitability. You had to know what's coming. Um, um, to become more profitable, you must truly understand your profits. Profits are usually just overlooked or glanced over. There's so much focus on revenue. Seven-figure business, multi-six-figure business, 10K a month, right? And of course, you need revenue to have a business. I'm not saying that. But I always say revenue grows your ego. Profit grows your business. Okay? You cannot have growth that is sustainable. You cannot scale without having profits. I am telling you, I have worked with multi six figure, seven figure business, even multi seven figure businesses that have little to no profit. They have the money coming in, but I'm telling you, it's going out just as fast. Some of them have major losses because people want that revenue so bad, almost like at all costs. There is no point in having a seven figure business if you're not able to even pay yourself. If you're stressed, how you're going to pay your employees. There's no point in having a six-figure lunch, right? Where you make $150,000 in sales, but it costs you $175 in marketing to get those sales. Those are things I'm talking about. You need to understand your profitability. Delegate, delegate, delegate. We're going to start delegating more of that operational work and optimization. In the previous phase of optimization, it was a lot more about automation and delegating some. Here, we're really deep diving more into delegation. Okay. The quicker you become a true CEO, which means you're not doing the day-to-day operation, you're doing the high-level strategic stuff, the quicker your business will scale and grow. And doing day-to-day operational work is one of the main reasons people are not able to grow and scale profitably because you're focusing on the wrong thing. While these things are important, yes, you need to be creating social media posts. You need to implement the software and the automation. All this is very important. You need this for your business. But these things are not actually going to scale your business or grow your business. These things are to keep your business operational, to keep it going. Creating the plan, having time to strategically create the system is CEO level. Actually implementing the system, that's operational. We have to start delegating that so you can, plan the systems, have somebody implementing that while you're now doing something else strategic to help your business grow and scale. You really want to focus on high value, high impact decision making and actions as a CEO. The implementation is the operational work, and you want to start delegating that more and more in this phase. And you also want to start standardizing your offers. There are so many ways to scale. I mean, so many ways. But no matter what path you pick, you need to have an offer that has a repeatable process and predictable income. Okay. So I'm not here to tell you have to do a group coaching or there's no way to scale with one-on-one. I'm here to tell you no matter what you pick, no matter what, aligns with your vision based on the lifestyle, the money, the freedom, the time commitment that you want to have, it has to be standardized at some point to scale. Now, it doesn't have to be 100% standardized, and we will talk about that a little bit more, but it has to be something that's a repeatable process and predictable outcome and income. So diving a bit deeper into these steps, and diving deeper into profitability. So you want to calculate and understand your profit margins. The two I want you to focus on is gross profit and net profit. And I'm going to go over these in a bit, so you can understand them more. But you want to understand your profit margins. Okay. And you want to use your profit margins to make decisions that align with your long-term and short-term visions and prioritize actions that drive profitability, scalability, and impact. You want to create targeted strategies to address weaknesses and leverage your strengths. I have a tool, the profit margin analysis tool. We're going to go over it really quick so you can see how it works. I'm going to keep this very high level. I am going to make a separate workshop that goes really deep in understanding your income statement, profit margins, all that, and then how to analyze it to make decisions. But for this workshop, we're keeping it very high level. So what are profit margins? It's simply the percentage of your revenue that you get to keep. And you want this to be a high number because think about it. You want to keep as much money that you make as possible. So the gross profit margin is how much money is left from sales after covering the direct cost of providing your product or service. So this includes stuff like direct labor, direct software or direct material. Anything that goes into actually delivering to the client is a direct cost. So you have your sales minus these direct costs, and that is your gross profit. Then you have your net profit. So your net profit is also known as the bottom line. And that is where when people say they have a profit or a loss in the business, this is the number they're looking at. So this is how much money your business actually keeps after paying all expenses. This is everything you owe is paid for. So the formula is very straightforward. Gross profit margin is gross profit divided by revenue times 100 to get a percentage. Net profit margin is net profit divided by revenue times 100. So this is how you find those numbers. Now, if you have an income statement, the numbers are very easy to find. I mean, you have revenue here, you have gross profit here, you have net profit here. Very easy to find. If you do not have an income statement or a profit and loss statement, a P&L, you can calculate your gross profit by saying revenue minus direct cost. And then you can calculate your net profit saying gross profit minus operating expenses. So therefore, you can get those numbers and then go input them in the formula. Now, once you know your profit margins, you want to understand how they compare to the industry standard. There's benchmarks, and these are very important to research and know so you can understand where your business stands and identify opportunities for improvement. You have a general goal of where you should be and if you're measuring up and how you can get better. Because the goal is always to keep as much of your money as possible, as much as possible. So one of the simplest and most reliable and effective ways of doing this is to do a search on Google. I do not recommend ChatGPT or any AI as I record this video because they just get it wrong. And if that changes, I will come back and update the video, the workshop. But no, they get it wrong. They be all over the place and they be very adamant about their right. So I've even asked, hey, where did you get this number from? Because I know it's wrong because I'm very familiar with standards. And they say, oh, you're right. We just made that up. So I don't recommend that, especially if you have no way of checking to see if it's right. So I do recommend doing an old-fashioned Google search. So like I said, it's based on industry. So you just type in your industry and then some of these search terms. You can try one or all, and you will get varying numbers based on the source, but they should all be in a very typical range. So if you're a marketing agency, just say marketing agency gross profit margins, and you can research it that way. Same thing for your net profit. So this is a very high level overview of some industries and some of the gross profit margins. Again, many things goes into varying. And as you understand your profitability more, you can actually create your own because you'll understand your business. But these are great starting points and always a great benchmark to never fall below this. But the goal is to be higher than this. Again, we want to keep as much of our money as possible. Also, please ignore the operating profit margin. For the sake of this workshop, we didn't get into it. So we just focus on gross profit and net profit. Your industry standards and resources. So these are some resources that you can use to find reliable numbers that you can depend on. These are some free resources. You can easily click and go here and access them. Or even if you're doing your Google search, if you see these resources, know you're good. And these are some paid resources if you want to go there. And after you have all the information, you want to analyze and interpret your data. And this is a checklist. Again, I'm not going into detail on how to analyze and interpret and make decisions. That is going to be for a whole other workshop because it deserves a whole other workshop. But I want you to do at least number 1 and number 2 on this list. I want you to start identifying trends and patterns of your profit margins, and then benchmark your profit margins, like compare them to the industry standards and see where you stand, just so you can start getting that understanding. So I recommend doing this like monthly, just so that you know and you can keep up and start to see the trends and the patterns. And then as you get more in your business scale, you get more into profitability, more into making strategic decisions. And again, I will have a workshop that goes into that. And that is the end of it. Of course, if you get to the end, you can just restart it. You can bookmark this page so you can get to it faster. And also, there's a link to this in your workshop material. Okay, so now step 2, you want to delegate operational work. Again, it's time to get things off your plate so you can be the CEO you were meant to be, okay? I remember when I was working in a restaurant in college and my manager had read this book. I don't know the name of the book, but I know in that book it said, "Get this monkey off my back." And he would go around talking about some, y'all gonna get this monkey off my back. That's not my responsibility. I'm trying to make sure our store is number 1 of the region. Y'all gonna get that monkey off my back. Okay. So I always think about that, right? Get stuff off your plate. What to delegate, people will always make this argument, what you should delegate, what you should not delegate. And the answer is simple. Does it align with your vision? I promise you it's going to keep going back to that. Does it align with your vision and goals? But some things to consider is you want to delegate things initially that don't require this strategic decision making or creative input from the CEO. Okay, so when you first really get into this delegation, nothing too high level, nothing too strategic. Something that can be easily systemized and assigned to team members or contractors. So it's very easy, it's repeatable, recurring tasks, and things that free up significant time for the CEO so they can focus on other things, right? So if it's taking you 2 or 3 hours to come up with social media content ideas and to make the graphics and do all those things, that's something you can delegate. You can hire an expert. They can come up with really great ideas once they truly understand your business. So you sit down one time, you have a deep dive, they get it, because again, you have clear vision and you know how to communicate it to team members and contractors. I want you to see how this stuff is starting to build on each other. Okay. Like I'm telling you, I get so excited. Like that's why I do these free workshops. Like I get so excited about this. You're starting to see how this stuff is building on each other because now you have the vision. And you know how to communicate that vision. So now you can hire somebody because you also have the systems and you have it documented. So now you can hire somebody. They can come do it for you. Get it off your plate. You've already done the strategic. You already done decision making. You already put all the creative stuff into it. So that don't need to be done. You already documented the SOPs. So now somebody come do it for you. Okay? I love it. Okay? And now your time is freed up so you can focus on strategy, scaling, and vision. Okay? So here are the top. Okay. So a resource, a tool that I have is the top 10 tasks to delegate, just to give you an idea of things you can start with. Yeah. And the third step is to standardize your offers. Okay. I want you to start with your most popular offer. What is proven? What is getting results? What are people paying for? And I want you to develop and make sure you have a repeatable, systemized version of this offer. Okay. Write out step by step how you get your clients' outcomes. Okay. This can be one-on-one coaching. This can be done for you. This could honestly be a group program, right? That's already somewhat standardized, but can be even better because now it's more aligned with your vision and your goals, and you're looking at it from a totally different lens than when you first created it in your business. So I don't care what it is. You want to go through and develop a repeatable, systemized version of this service. And if it's already somewhat standardized, test it, like put it up against a stress test through the ringer and identifies ways to make it even more systemized, even more repeatable, even more predictable outcomes. Now, if you're starting with like a more one-on-one or done for you service already, you want to develop or you want to identify areas where you can tailor it for your clients. So you want to have a part that's like partly standardized, like this is the system, but then there's parts that you can custom tailor it for your clients to make sure you still have that individual things without overcomplicating, without starting all the way back over. Now, I'm not saying this is something you're going to actually implement immediately. We're laying the strategy, we're laying the vision out, we're mapping it out. The CEO scaling process is the lifetime, like the life cycle of your business. So everything doesn't have to be done immediately. We have short-term goals, mid-term goals, and long-term goals. A lot of these short-term goals are the operational activities that's done in, let's say, the 90-day period, right? Those operational. That's the stuff we delegate. Midterm goals a little further, maybe 6 months, 9 months, a year, somewhere in there. And then long-term goals are even further out, a year plus. As a CEO, most of your energy, most of your time should be on those midterms and long-term goals, not those short-term goals. So this standardizing your offer could be a midterm or a long-term goal, but we're creating the strategy now. We're mapping it out now. So when it's time to implement, when we get into that short-term goal, because now we're about to launch this offer and it's more operational, the people you hired, the people you outsource are actually doing the operational part. You want to document your process. Write out step by step how you get your clients' outcomes. Determine if this step is absolutely necessary to get your desired outcome. Again, alignment. We never leaving it. Enlist any software, tools, or resources you use to complete this step. So there is a tool, the framework documentation template, that we're going to go over that walks through this really quickly. So this is the tool you can use to do your framework documentation. You start here with the offer name. So what is the offer? And then what is the final outcome? What does the client get based on this offer? And then you simply go step by step and you write out each step your client takes to get from the problem to the solution. So each step has its own line. Then you want to make sure here, answer the question, is this step absolutely necessary to get desired outcome? Yes or no? The reason this is so important is because, one, if you're putting unnecessary steps, that's actually delaying your client outcome. So how quick they can get the outcome is taking longer than it needs to, and also adding more work to you, which is the opposite of what you want to do. From a profitability standpoint, labor is the most expensive. So that includes your labor. But even if you have somebody doing it for you, if they're spending time on unnecessary tasks, it's costing you money. So it's making your offer less profitable. It's taking more time and energy from you, and it's delaying results for your clients. So really, it serves nobody. So you really want to take this question seriously. And then what software, tools, or resources do you use to complete this step? Just document it so that you have it. And really, this is the beginning of documenting your framework and what you do so that you can strategically start to standardize your offer. Okay, and the final stage 3, is CEO Ascension. And this is where you fully transition from running your business to leading it. Okay, you are the confident CEO you was meant to be. And this phase is all about building a business that operates independently, creates consistent income, profit, and impact, and grows while giving you the freedom to enjoy time off, vacations, and your ideal lifestyle. This is a business that is working for you and not the other way around. And at this stage, you are focusing on strengthening and refining your leadership and your decision-making skills to prioritize only the most essential, high-level decisions and actions. It's about stepping fully into your role as a visionary CEO, confidently guiding a business that aligns with your values and goals while reducing your reliance on day-to-day operations. Okay. We have arrived. So here are some characteristics. The purpose: to build a self-sustaining business that creates impact, grows revenue, and supports your ideal lifestyle with freedom and ease. Some obstacles: feeling like you've hit a revenue or profit ceiling and needing a new approach to break through it. Inconsistent revenue because you're struggling to balance serving current clients while maintaining momentum of acquiring new ones. Again, this can happen at any stage, but at this stage, if you hit that ceiling, you are likely throwing a lot of things. And sometimes the vision may need to change. Because of that, it can kind of almost feel like you're back at the beginning. Like, I'm not stuck at zero. I'm just stuck at whatever this number is, right? And a lot of times I see people will increase their income, but their profit is staying the same. You're running a hamster running in a hamster wheel. You're not going anywhere. Overwhelmed by growth and the fact that you do not overwhelmed by growth and the fact that you do not have enough time to handle it effectively. So if this is happening at this stage a lot, because more delegation is needed, because as you are actually becoming that full CEO, more things will be required. More delegation will be needed. It's so continuous. If you think about like working out, right? If you're working out and you start off, you can only do 5 pounds and you get 5 pounds. Then you got to go up to 10. Now it's hard again. And you get 10 and you're good. You're good. You just working out, getting it. Bam. But now you have to go up to 15 and it's hard again. So that is the cycle, but you have so many things in place in the strategy and the mindset. That's why you need to make sure that's what you're always focusing on, that strategy. And doubting your ability to lead, scale, or sustain success at the higher level. One thing I read somewhere on LinkedIn, I'm sure, was imposter syndrome never leaves. It just grows with you. Every new stage, every new phase, even after you reach stage 3, there's a new level. There's a new person you have to become. There's a new struggle. And they're bigger now. The income is bigger, the profit is bigger, the stage is bigger, your confidence is bigger. So that imposter syndrome can still creep in. It can grow with you. But you have to remain confident and know that you have it handled. And having these foundational pieces in places is going to ensure that you do. So your goal is to continue to build a business that can sustain itself, ensuring a consistent impact, revenue growth, and profit growth without requiring your constant involvement. Operate with clarity and focus by identifying and pursuing only the most critical and strategic opportunities. At this stage, it's really about growth, but also maintaining, right? It can be easy to slip back into the old ways, especially in times of stress or uncertainty, imposter syndrome. So you really are maintaining and staying diligent with everything that you have done as you continue to be strategic. So action steps. The big thing here is to focus on CE level decisions. The big thing here is to focus on CEO level decisions and to take bold, confident, strategic actions repeatedly, over and over. Okay. So you want to make decisions that are aligned with your long-term vision and prioritize actions that drive profitability, scalability, and impact. You are solely focusing on what moves the needle in your business, and you are delegating, automating, or eliminating anything that doesn't. So you want to make data-driven decisions. And there is a process you can use that helps you make data-driven decisions. The first one is to confirm that, the project, the opportunity fits your business goals and that the timing is appropriate. Again, alignment. Sometimes opportunities can be good, but the timing is not right and it can cause way more harm than actual good. Analyze if your business can sustain the investment from a financial standpoint and identify risk of inaction and compare alternative options and choose the best path forward. I have a data-driven decision matrix. That is a mouthful. And it really takes this 3-step framework and put it actually in a spreadsheet so you can see and help make the decision. So we're going to hop over to that screen and we're going to go to that matrix really quick. So this is a quick tutorial on how to use the decision analysis tool in order to gather data, to have everything in one place and to analyze it and to use that data to help you make a decision on a big investment you're considering. So there is a written guide that really goes through all of these steps in detail. So if you have not seen that, you can click right here to access that. Also, I do recommend making a copy of this. So to do that, you would go to File, make a copy, and then that way you will always have a fresh copy that is blank so you can copy it again to use it for other decisions and things of that nature. So the first thing we have is the Overview tab. And like I said, it has the link to the guide with the actual step-by-step written instructions that goes into more detail. And then you have your preliminary. And so what you're really doing is answering these questions. What are you deciding on? What do you want to do? And what do you feel like you should do? Because those things are often different. So you want to answer the answer, and then you want to say why. Why do you want to do it? Why do you, why is this a decision you're making? So really to get all of that out and on paper. So you do that, and you will leave this for now until after the analysis. So the next tab is actually the analysis tab, and there are 3 steps. So the first step is determine if the investment is a good strategic fit and the right timing. Is what you're investing in aligning with your business goals, both short-term and long-term? Does it align with your mission statement, your values, things of that nature? And is it the right timing based on your business finances, your business operations, the economy, all of those things, the industry? Is it the right timing? So you simply select yes or no from the drop down and be as honest as possible because you really want to have good data to make the best decision. So also, if you click here on this arrow, like if you hover, this will pop up. And so here you can just write additional information, why or why not. Just get more of those thoughts out. And then you can make it bigger if you need to. Now, step 2 is where you will probably spend the most time. And this is calculate the impact on cash flow. Now, all of these here are formulas. There is nothing that you need to change here. It will all be calculated under this tab I will show you in a few minutes. You will have to select your payment choice from the drop down, but everything else is calculated. Now, if you click on here, and let's say you try to put a number, you will get this to tell you that you should not change it. And you can just select cancel and then it'll be fine. Nothing is wrong. I wanted to leave it open for those who might want to change it. You can, but I just highly do not recommend it. Just click cancel and move on. If you do change it, if you do actually want to change it, when you click on here, you just push OK, and then you can change it if you want to. Also, another reason I suggested making a copy of this at the beginning was so if you do change anything, you will always have the unedited version that you didn't change anything on. So let's go over step 2. So under here, we have the 3 sections. We have the initial investment. So this is everything that goes into the initial investment of, whatever you're purchasing. So everything it takes to buy it, to implement it, to start using it in your business. So you want to put all the things here. There are a few things already added, but of course, add everything you need to add. And then you want to add a cost to it. And then this will total at the bottom by itself. So this is your initial investment, your upfront investment. The next 2 areas are your annual cash outflows and cash inflows from the investment. So this could be things you have to pay every year to maintain the investment. This can be financing payments, upgrades and maintenance, additional training, things of that nature you want to add here. And then the cash inflows. That could be things like increased sales, or you have, higher customer retention, which leads to higher customer lifetime value, or you're saving money because you're more efficient, or you're not having to, hire employees because the turnover is turning down. So what are the cash inflows? What is this investment bringing you? And these numbers are estimates, especially the cash inflows. And so they do not have to be perfect, but you do want them to be as close to reality as possible, because again, you need that good data to make the right or the best decision for your business. So let's just do that. Okay, so all of that is filled, and you will see now this payback period automatically calculates. You have to put nothing in here. And what this is showing you in years is how long it will take you to recoup your money. So what's your break-even point from the initial investment only? So that is what that is showing you. This right here is telling you it's about 4.2 years to get your money back based on the investment. So once all of that is done, you want to go to your analysis tab. And if you'll see here, now all these things are filled out for you. So the only thing you have to do is how are you going to pay for it? And you select that from the drop down. Now, I do want to point out one thing. If we go back to cash flows, and let's say this number is higher, when you come here to the analysis, you will see this in red. So this means that you are spending more money every year on your investment than you are having inflow. So this is a red flag. So if you see this red, definitely look into that more, look at your numbers, and really consider if the investment is worth it. But for this purpose, we're going to keep it having a positive cash flow. So the last step is step 3, which you evaluate the risk of not doing anything and not actually investing in the item, and you also evaluate other alternatives. So this will automatically populate, and this is something you will manually type this number, and we will take a look at that now in this tab. So what is the risk if you don't do anything? Will you lose clients? Are you lose an employee and there's a, high cost associated with getting new employees? Are you having a reduction in sales? You want to think of the risk and quantify as many as possible. And then what are some alternatives? So instead of the investment, what else could you do? Could you fix or improve the existing asset or the resource? Can you find a cheaper option that may not be perfect, it's less ideal, but it will work? Or do you do nothing at all? So again, you want to put a cost with that as well. And doing nothing at all really could match this. Maybe not exactly, but it could. Again, you have to really determine for your business. But for my purposes, I'm actually going to make it match exactly. So now after you've done that, you want to rank, okay, which ones is my favorite? Like, what's my favorite alternative if I don't purchase, if I don't make the investment? So whichever is number 1, that number is 7,500. That is the number I'm going to bring and put in the analysis tab. Okay, so now you have all of your data here in one spot, and you can really look and start to see, should I say yes? Should I say no? And I have this decision matrix here to really help break it down based on each thing, when to consider saying yes and when to consider saying no. And this is not you should definitely say yes or no if you meet these criteria, but it is more of you have a confidence in moving in the right direction. So you really know if you need to go deeper into the process of researching and actually prepping to invest, or just no longer spend any time on this decision. The answer is no, and move on. So this really helps you, based on each of these analysis, it helps you decide, hey, which way should I lean? So if I look at this really quick, it's great strategic fit. It is the right timing. It's going to take me about 4 years to get my money back. The shorter the payback period, the less risky it is. So you want a shorter payback period. Like, think about it. You want to get your money back as fast as possible. So ideally, especially at this amount, I would like that to be a lot lower. And then it has a positive cash, impact annually. So that's great. I will have to finance it. And then The risk of not making the investment actually in this case turned out to be lower than the actual investment itself. So that is something to consider. Even though the timing is right, the alignment is right, and I get a positive cash flow, I'm paying more than the risk. Now, of course, as time goes on, that number can grow, but it could be, well, maybe I can wait another year and be in a better position to do it. So just, again, something to consider. And then it's cheaper, to have another alternative. So again, should I look into this alternative more? And then if that's the case, you will use a copy of this decision tool and then evaluate that alternative totally separate. All right. And the last thing you want to do is reduce your daily involvement continuously. Listen, I want you to delegate until you have nothing left. Like nothing. As a CEO, the visionary CEO, you delegate, delegate, delegate. And what you will find out is that as your business grows, as you scale, things that used to be CEO level are not. Because as your business grows, the strategy that you have to look up, the strategy that you have to provide will increase. And you're also hiring more strategic roles. You might have a COO or a fractional CFO or a head of sales, right? Or a sales manager. So they can make strategic decisions in their department that you no longer have to make. So now things that you used to be, CEO level strategy are not. And now you can delegate those things as well. So you want to consistently be looking for ways to delegate so you can consistently operate at the highest level of being a CEO that your business requires. So in order to do this, I recommend performing a monthly delegation audit. So you want to list your most time-consuming tasks you worked on in the last month and determine if all or part of these tasks can be delegated or outsourced, could be automated, or don't directly align with your strategic priorities. It just need to be eliminated altogether. And then create a plan to hand off, automate, or eliminate at least one of these tasks a month. So I do have a monthly delegation audit tool that you can use that will help you figure out what to delegate. And we can go over that really, really quick as well. So this is the monthly delegation audit tool you can use. It is very straightforward. You select your month from the drop down. And what I recommend, so this is the monthly delegation audit. And what I recommend is for each month, go in here and duplicate it. And that way you can have a, running tab for every month of your items. You can keep up with them and see how you're progressing. What you do is you select your month from the drop down. Then you enter your top 1 to 10 tasks that was the most time consuming that you worked on in the last month. Now you can enter more than 10 if you want to. It does get a little harder to track, but that's up to you. I recommend 1 to 10. And you just list one here. And then for each one you go through, can it be delegated or outsourced? Can it be automated? Does it directly align with your strategic priorities? Have you created an action plan? So you just answer those questions from the drop down, and then you can track and make sure and hold yourself accountable for staying at that visionary CEO level and being very strategic and working on high value, high impact strategic things in your business and delegating the rest or eliminating. Delegating or eliminating. All right. Okay, so that is the 3 stages of scaling and the actions you need to take to help you get to each of the next stages. So I have this QR code here that you can scan to get the workshop materials for free. So there is individual roadmaps based on each scaling stage that includes links to every resource that I went over in this workshop. So you can get that. Also, if you scan this QR code, there's a link that's included that will take you to a quiz to help you determine what stage of scaling you are in. So if you can self-identify, there's a quiz that will help you determine that. It takes about 10 minutes, no fluff, no gimmicks, yes or no questions to help you determine that. And of course, if you're interested in working with me or you want to find out more information about how I can help you scale your business to multi six-figure profits, that can also be found when you scan this QR code. So pretty much everything is in this QR code. Also, if you can't scan it, you can go to thecurvedangle.com/YT. So that is it for today's workshop. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next one.